What is up? We took a loss today, which is annoying. There's a lot of reasons why that's kind of just annoying. And I'll kind of go over my thought process in the trades and stuff like that. And yeah, so one thing I want to say is kind of the best way to avoid or to handle a loss, which I think will be the main point of this video. But the best way to handle a loss is, just being able to step away, right? And I'm not really good at that, but I'm using TopStep X, and I was able to lock myself out of the account right after my loss because I'm trying to just do one trade per day. And the trade I took just wasn't that good. I tried and risk around 400 with some slip in the price. It kind of filled me, and the commission just made me lose a little bit more, but we hit our target there, so we kind of followed our rules. But I can't place a trade, as you can see. It's disabled, so that kind of helps me handle losses, right? Whenever normally I would just be wanting to place another trade and I wouldn't really step away. So I think a really easy way to start handling losses is if you're on TopStep X, or if you're using TopStep, if you're trying to look for a broker or a funded prop from the trade on, I would recommend TopStep X actually, because a lot of times this day could turn into a negative 1,000. So to keep it at 400 is kind of nice. And again, we're still up on the account about $500. So it's not the end of the world, right? This is why I'm trying to do one trade a day and risk the same amount. Is because if I come in tomorrow or on Monday and I take a winner, I should be back to where we were. We should cover the loss from today and hopefully some. And that's just kind of how it goes, and that's why I want to do one trade per day. But it is a little bit hard when our trades aren't even covering our losers, right? So like yesterday, we should have made 500, and we went over why I didn't, right? 500 obviously would have ate this entire loss, and we would have had a little bit of profit. So these days would have just kind of wiped each other out, and then we would have been able to have stacked this profit here, rather than this day getting completely wiped from this today, and then eating into some of this. So I think these days basically just get wiped off the map, and then some of these winners. So it is what it is though. So if you look at that, right, each one of our winning days should have been more. This $165 day should have been more. I messed up with my account. This day should have been more. I messed up with my account. We should be in a way better spot, but we made mistakes. We made errors, and that's why we aren't profitable right now. And that's fine, right? That's completely fine. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it's going to not be as streamlined, right? If I would have made money today, it would be a lot more streamlined. I think my take profit on the trade I took would have been around like $1,000. So, yeah, it would have been like around $1,000. So we would have been a lot further in our account. We would have been at 50,000, 50, whatever. We would have been a lot further along, right? We would have been like 52K. We would have been killing it. And we'd be like 2 or 3 green days away from passing the account. But now we're not, and that's fine because we can come in and we can find a good trade next week, right? So the first mistake I made today was, well, I don't know even what this really means, but live brokerage accounts, CTS, are currently restricted trading due to CrowdStrike global incident. I should have maybe just stepped away for the day because I don't know what that means. Another point I would like to make is, look where we're at in the charts on a Friday. I know we're drawing lower on the higher time frame to this low, right? But we had equal highs, and I don't like shorting unless we sweep out some type of liquidity or retrace, maybe take out this high. Like there's no real clear short for me. Because of where we're at in the charts. We've just been selling. We have not retraced. We haven't even really swept a real high. And this was the Asia high here. And I was waiting for that, and it just didn't happen. So we were not in a good spot in the charts. On the 30-minute chart, look at this. We're just kind of consolidating in this range. There's no clear anything. There's no clear picture here. Another reason I should have just taken the day off, really, or just paper traded. The only liquidity sweep we got was up here, but it's like, come on now, when we're this close. But anyways, market opened, and a nice paper trade I did take on paper was this 30-second inverse right here. Take profit this high and this high was pretty nice. Worked really well. And look, we failed to take out the drawn liquidity over here, the Asia high, and that made me bullish because I was not looking to short until this high. I did not want to short anything when we have a high. When we fail to sweep a high by 3 points, I expect us to then come up. So I wasn't even attempting or thinking about taking this short here because I don't want to short when we have equal highs, right? I just feel like that wouldn't have been the greatest play for me, but it ended up working out all right. Probably break even trade. Maybe you take profit at that low. More than likely, probably break even because I'm not really sure what would have been able to make me take profit before. I don't know. Maybe I would have scaled some, but I'm trying to do one take profit. So this trade would have probably been break even, which is fine. The reason for the trade I took was an SMT right here. We obviously swept this internal low, and these relative equal highs I was pretty confident in. We also inversed this 2-minute gap here, right here. And then when we hold this 2-minute fair value gap and we hold this 1 minute, I jumped down onto the 30-second and I took this long right here. But I also jumped in late. I jumped in here, right? Even worse. One of the reasons why I couldn't even get break even on this trade is because we made an SMT. We didn't even take this. This would have been break even trade. I should have entered here, right? That would have allowed this to be a $400 trade anyways. I could have targeted there if we got up there, and maybe I could have gotten a break even when the SMT formed, but since I was so high up, I couldn't even do that. And then obviously the take profit would have been up here, which would have been a monster trade, which shows if we show up next week and we take a great trade, we'll be right back on pace, right? The account is still up. Again, the account is still up. There's nothing to be worried about. But yeah, we had an SMT here, and then we failed, and then we take out this low, and then we come higher. And then it's just a whole lot of failed inverses. This inverse fails, this inverse fails, this inverse fails, right? Like it's just a bunch of just choppy price action. And that's why I'm glad that I don't have access to my account anymore because I would probably have taken another stab out of frustration and taken more losses, right? So again, looking over this trade, realistically, I'm not like super upset with this trade. I don't think it's the worst trade. Again, we have the SMT, we displace higher, we hold the fair value gap, we inverse here. This would have been the break-even point, right? It's a little bit unlucky that we didn't even get the break-even, but we were about 2 points away. Cool. We had an SMT. I could have maybe got stopped for break-even if I would have got in at a better time. I should have gotten in on this candle rather than when I chased the move up here. Again, and then probably risked more than I should have with one full contract, right? I could have got in here and then probably got a break even when I see this fail to take the high, or worst case, I could have just put my stop here, 8 points, and maybe just a 10-point stop. I maybe could have saved myself from about a lot more of a loss I could have saved, right? So that is it's just kind of a mistake there. And this trade is a little bit zoomed in. And just with the price action, right? We didn't sweep any real low, right? This is just all kind of noise. This low is a lot more valid. This sweep down here is a lot more valid too. The sweep of this low, if we got like an inverse on this, because we actually swept low a day. I don't like taking trades that doesn't at least sweep a real liquidity pool or low a day. I think this is a little too zoomed in. We're not bouncing out any fair value gap here that wasn't over here. So this trade just kind of was a little bit more forced in my opinion, rather than trying to just wait for the best possible opportunity. So it is what it is. It's kind of frustrating to just take a bad trade, especially on a Friday, because then I can't trade for 2 days. I can't trade for Saturday or Sunday, obviously. And then we got to come back Monday and, we just regroup, right? We could have just ended the trade a week up good on the account, not taking a trade, or we could have, maybe taken a winner, and we would have been in a lot better spot. But that is, the reality, right? And it's just frustrating, man, because I really am just determined to do good on this account. Not even just this account. I just want to pass. I just want to pass my funded and get to the express account, or like the actual trade on the funded eventually, or at least just pass it and have it in my back pocket and do other evals. It's like I just want to get one over the line, right? Because I know I can. I know I can find enough trades that make the 3,000. I know I can be consistent. I know I can find good trades, but it just hasn't happened yet. It just hasn't clicked yet. It just hasn't happened yet, right? And it's like I'm trying. I really just want it to happen, and that's why I was trading worse before. I have proper rules in place. So again, we have proper rules in place now, so that I'm only taking one trade a day. I know my risk. I know what I'm targeting one-to-ones. I'm trying to take the best setups, even though today we didn't take a great setup, but we did stick to everything else on our rules. But it's just frustrating, man, because I just want to get one account over the line to just get that, like, just kind of get it out of the way, right? Like, I've been trying to pass an account for so long. I finally have proper rules. I finally have good risk management. But it's still just like, it takes time, right? It just takes time to get there, right? We're up $500. I need 2,500 more to go, right? So we need 5x what we've done, which, if we just kept having, like, if we just keep having $500 weeks, eventually we'll get there, right? Like, if you always have a winning week, then you'll eventually get there. So it's like, it's just because I want things so soon, like I want it next week or the week after, but I just can't have it tomorrow or the next day or the next day, right? And who knows how quickly I can pass it. But it's just frustrating because I just really want to do something so badly, and I can't do anything Saturday or Sunday to progress that. And then there's always the fear of Monday losing again, right? There's always that fear. But all I can do is show up and try my best. So that's just the hardest part with trading, is just that all you can really do is just show up and try your best. So it's like, like the rest of my day, I'm just gonna sit around and just, I think about trading a lot. So it's like, I'm gonna sit around and just think about the loss, or think about, wanting to make it back or pass the account, and I literally can't do anything for over 48 hours. And it's just kind of like, dang, like, I literally can't do anything about it, and that's, I think, the hardest part, is because I really, really, really just want to pass the funded so badly. And it just quite hasn't happened yet. It just hasn't. But it's like, again, there's positives. We stuck to our one trade, partially because we locked ourselves out of the account. But, I didn't have to, I don't have to do that, right? TopStep doesn't make you do that. They have the $1,000 loss limit, but they don't make you put in a custom one, and they don't make you lock yourself out. I chose to do that. So that's me getting better in that sense. And honestly, this loss will make if I do pass this account, it will make passing this account feel that much better, because instead of just going on a win streak, I can prove that I can take a loss or two. I can lose on certain days, and then I can still pass the account, right? Like, I can still get where I want to go, even if I'm not perfect, right? Even if I don't go on a lucky green streak, because let's be realistic, I'm not just going to win every single trade, I'm not going to win every single trade just to pass the account, right? It's not realistic. And if I did that, then it wouldn't teach me anything, right? If I can show myself that I can lose, and I can follow my system, and I can come out ahead because my risk management is good, then that's going to be a lot more beneficial than just winning every single day and passing my account. So even though I would love to win every single day and pass my account, it just doesn't happen that way, right? It just won't happen that way, and that's fine. So again, my drawn liquidity is this low now. I think that we'll just start to melt. That's about 60 points from where we're at. I think we'll probably just take that out today. I wouldn't mind that, or I wouldn't mind coming back up and then having this for later, like Monday or something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of my best advice on how I'm trying to start learning how to handle losses, because it really sucks, man. Like, I want nothing more than to be able to make that money back right now. But I just know over a lot of experience and a lot of losing more than I should, that even if I do make that money back, right, the things I would have to do to make that money back wouldn't even be worth it, right? Because most of the time I'm just going to lose more. And also, most of the time, and even if I do make it back, I'd have to do dumb stuff to make it back. I had to overtrade, I had to maybe over leverage, or I had to, force setups or get out early. And look where we're at, right? All we have to do tomorrow or on Monday is show up and take an A plus setup. And if we win the A plus setup, we'll make all of this loss back, right? But if I go and I take another loss, then my next trade can't even really, I can't even expect to make it all back, right? I could be down more. If we go in Monday and we lose again, then we lose again, right? And that's scary, and it is a possibility. But you just have to trust yourself and trust that over time you will come out ahead and that you'll make money over the course of X amount of trades or X amount of whatever, right? You have to trust that you're profitable. And if you go on a losing streak, that's fine. It happens to everyone. But it's hard to go on a losing streak when you don't have any results or success, because you can't just look at it as a losing streak, right? You look at it as, I'm not profitable. I'm not good. I'm not finding good trades, right? So it's hard to remove that from your brain and just kind of just do better, because I always want to look at things and be like, I always want to look for reasons why I could have done better and why the trade was bad, right? But the reality is, besides jumping in a little bit late, maybe besides not sweeping a better low, right? There's always going to be things I can pick out from the trade, but at the end of the day, it wasn't the worst ever trade. It was pretty much my model. I mean, it was my model. It just wasn't the most textbook ever model. So it's like, this is a loss that's all right? We could have probably done better. We could have probably avoided it. But, that being said, you can't avoid every loss, right? Like, if there's a way to avoid every loss, then that means that you could win every time, right? And that's just not going to happen. And we know that that's not going to happen. So if we know that you're not going to win every time, then why every time? Yeah, you want to learn from the mistake and try and get better, but every time you lose, you don't have to develop some system to keep you from that loss in the next time, right? Like, yeah, maybe this wasn't the best ever trade, but I don't need to completely avoid that trade at all costs, because it wasn't the end of the world, right? This trade it wasn't like I went against my model. It wasn't like I, over leveraged. There was more positives with the loss than there's negatives. And I think that's the hard part for me. Like I said, because I can't just sit here and take another trade or whatever or get more opportunities. I have to wait till Monday. And again, the fear of maybe losing again on Monday is scary, because then, all it does is mean that now you just have to win 2 times or maybe one big winner or something. Like, it doesn't really change anything. But I think everyone in trading, myself included, just wants to hit a massive green streak and live in a false reality of just, I win every single time. Because if I could win every single time, then trading would be very, very easy, obviously. I would have a great time trading if I won every single trade. I would make a lot of money, right? But I'm never going to win every single time. No one's going to win every single time. And because you might lose every single trade you place, I have to just accept that I could lose every single time I enter a trade. I could lose. So why not follow my rules, follow my risk management, only take the best setups I know. That's all I can do, right? If I can lose in every single trade I place, why would I take bad setups that have a higher chance of losing? Why would I over leverage? Why would I take too many trades? Why would I overtrade when I could lose every single time I press a button, right? So I'm trying to manage those emotions and learn from it, but it's hard, man. I'm a human. I have emotions, and but we're getting better, man. We're learning how to handle losses more. And again, like I said, if I know that in 2 weeks from now I pass this account, I'll be very happy that I would love to take 2, 3, 4 losing days and still pass this account in a reasonable time, because that shows that that my system works, right? If your system can't ever lose for you, like if you're not comfortable losing, it means that you're not comfortable in your system, right? If I know my system works, then I'm fine taking a loss, because I know I'll win more than I lose, right? But if I don't have any confidence in my system, if I don't know that what I'm doing is going to work, then yeah, losing is scary, because you might, what if you never win again, right? So I don't have to just go on a massive win streak just to pass my account, right? I can sit here and take losing days, and it's no big deal. So that's where I'm trying to get to. It's still hard. I'm still trying to learn how to get to that mind space where I can take losing days and be just completely okay and just learn how to deal with it. Because yeah, it's like, I mean, how can you, like, I trust my model, but then when you lose, it's like, oh, what if I lose again and then again and then again, and then you kind of forget about all the wins you have, because now you're so caught up in the fact that, what if you lose again, right? Whereas yesterday we took a great trade. It should have been $500, right? But even if we didn't, we took a great trade yesterday. On, I forgot which day we had the data lows that we took. We took a good trade on that day. We got messed up with our platform. We were learning the platform, but that was a great trade, right? That's two great trades compared to the one loss, 2-1. you know. And then what happened on one of the other days? Monday, we had a great trade, right? That's three great trades to one loss, right? But as soon as you take a loss, you forget about all the good things you do, because all you can think about is the losing. So that's just kind of where my head is at. I just kind of want to make this video of the review, go over my trade, and the loss I took, and kind of maybe how I'm starting to learn how to manage losing, kind of my mind frame with it, and maybe that's kind of how some of you guys feel. But that's just where my head's at with losing, and what I'm trying to get better at, because if I can't lose, I won't be able to do this long term. So we're getting better every time we lose. It's getting more comfortable. But, in the back of my mind, I hope I just come in and hit a massive 5-day green streak next week and pass my account. But we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, you guys will be updated, and all we can do is follow our rules, follow our plan, and execute. So we did our job this week. It was a good week. We made $400 on the funded eval, and yeah, we come back stronger next week, and we come back and we execute our plan. So I'll see you guys all on Monday. Maybe I make a video this weekend. I'll see. But I'll see you guys on Monday. Appreciate everyone that tunes into these videos. It does actually mean a lot. So hope you guys are doing good. And yeah, peace.